Hi. So it's pretty early right now, as we can probably, I don't think we can tell actually, but it's very early right now, and I'm left my house like a few minutes ago, and I'm going on like a little walk, hike, whatever you want to call it. Why not, And I'm gonna try and see if we can actually see the sunrise, which honestly, with the time weather that it is, I don't think we will, but we're gonna try anyways. And yeah, I'll just let you guys know when I get there, I think. And I'll film like a few scenery shots on the way. But yeah. Oh, I am going to actually take the time that I have within these like scenery shots that I filmed, which will make no sense because they're literally just like me filming the way there. God only knows. But I'm gonna use these because I actually want to explain basically that this like rant and like kind of like talk I'm gonna have with you guys in a minute, literally on a bridge, will basically be mostly me trying to actually like explain why, like a few months ago, basically, during the time I was in my internship, I didn't post as much, and why sometimes I literally like disappear out of nowhere or don't post as much, or then have moments in which I post very much regularly. Basically, gonna try and give you an explanation as to why I have these like very like up and down moments of like posting nothing because I'm too anxious because of something, or posting too much, which also a lot of times comes from a place of me being anxious because I haven't posted in a while, and so I feel almost like a need to post more. But yeah, that's basically just me trying to get to a place where I can explain to you guys why I'm gonna suddenly start talking about the things that I started talking about in this video. So, I just want to be able to explain that. And yeah, this is me basically just giving you guys a tour of where I'm gonna be sitting. I'm gonna be sitting basically right by this bridge. But yeah, like I said, this is just a video of me trying to explain that. I felt like I wanted to just, get to sort of connect with you guys more, and so you guys could also get to know me a bit better. I don't know, honestly, I think I was too in my feels this morning, and so I decided to just get a camera, walk somewhere, get some fresh air, and then I thought, why not, let's just try and film something out of this. So I guess that's what I did. Enjoy. Hi. So I don't know necessarily how the sound is gonna be in here because I didn't check. But hopefully we will be able to hear me okayly. I don't know. Like, I don't have a mic. I don't have anything like that, so I usually just go based on the mic that the phone has. But I don't think that's gonna be a good idea today because of the whole river situation. But we will see. But basically, yeah, I came here. Hopefully I will have included some B-roll and stuff from where I'm at. But I woke up early and I decided to just walk here and film. The only thing that usually passes here are cars. Sometimes there's people here fishing. Hopefully there won't be any here today. I didn't necessarily check. Is it a bad thing if someone catches me? Yes. Will I be embarrassed? Yes. Is it bad for me, a person with mental health issues, to be embarrassed? Very embarrassed. Next to a bridge? Yes. But we will just pretend that that's not real. And if I, at any point, catch the camera and just hide it, it's because there's a car coming or something like that. Because, it's the era of a lot of people doing YouTube, and I don't necessarily think that it's a weird thing or a thing that doesn't come across our minds. But I live in a village still very much traditional, and that definitely still sees people with a tripod or a camera, talking to the camera, as a very weird thing. Even if it's a video call, they still act like you should be doing a video call inside the house. Why are you doing it in the middle of the road? So it's not like I can even pretend to be talking to someone I know or something like that. So yeah, I kind of wanted to see if we could see the sunrise. But to be honest, with the weather that we have today, I don't think that's going to happen. There was a sandstorm yesterday, which also was one of the things, kind of ties into one of the things, or the thing that I wanted to talk about in this video. Which is the fact that yesterday there was a sandstorm. It actually kind of affected mostly south of Spain, but since we literally are at the side of Spain. We also caught it kind of, and like the sky was a lot like more orange, red-ish. It looked very much like there had been like huge fires. And that's what I meant by cars coming. But yeah, what I was saying, the skies were kind of like reddish, orange. It looked like there had been like huge fires, which they did happen a few years ago. I don't know, and necessarily if anyone that's watching this that might be from Portugal, because I do believe I have some subscribers that are remembers those. But it was like literally, I think 2017 or 18. They were like actually like that was one of the worst years for us like here when it comes to like fires. And that year, I was actually that the day specifically that like the biggest like amount of fires happened. I was actually going to the like city where I was in college, and I usually go with a bus. And my mother was like, "I don't know, I don't. It doesn't feel right to me today that you're going. Like there has been some talk about fires. I don't feel like very safe that you're going." And I was like, calm down. They would not let us like go if they knew that it was not safe to go. And I was like assuring my mother. And basically at the time, my bus got literally caught not only in the middle of fire, it actually caught on fire. Like we literally were like going, and suddenly the man of the bus literally just like drove through the middle of fire. We were like, what the fuck is happening? And it started feeling very warm, and suddenly the bus stopped, and then we saw like firemen in front of the bus. They were like running towards us, and I was like, what the hell? Then they opened the doors, and so they were literally like, get out right now. We didn't even like got our luggage. We just like left with what we had and like with us at that point. And once we got out, we realized they were saying get out very quickly because the back of the bus was burning and it could explode. And we were like, oh, thanks. Cool. So they literally just told us like continue walking until you hit a bridge, which there is a lot of them on the way. And I was like, we're just supposed to like walk? And they were like, yeah. And then, so we were like walking in the middle of the street. We couldn't really see anything. It was very smoky. We were trying not to breathe like through. Like we're literally like going like this before masks were even a thing here. We did that, and we were like walking like that because we literally could not breathe. And before we hit the bridge, the bus came back because they had put out the fire. They said it was safe, so we just got back into the bus. And then we basically stopped at a bridge. Everything behind us was burning, everything in front of us was burning, everything at the side of us was burning. We literally were like in the middle of a bridge because, you know, there was water around us mostly, and so that was like the safest we could be. There was a lot of wind that day. We would see sometimes literally just like stuff that was burning coming through the wind outside. It was horrible. There was no service. We couldn't really tell our family we're okay. People were inside the bus fighting for the phones that had service so they could call their parents. Then there were people that were calling their parents using the opportunity that they had to call their parents. Instead of saying, we're fine, they were literally calling them like, I'm gonna die. And they were like making it even more stressful for others. I do get that, you know, everyone reacts the way they can, but it was very much like people were very much like angry at those because they were like, we need to stay calm and we don't need you to call your mother to tell you you're gonna die. And especially, you don't need to be telling your mother you're gonna die. Your mom cannot do anything and she's like going to be very stressed at home. So, like, think about her. I literally didn't even tell my mom that I was stuck in fire. I called her and said, we have traffic, so we're gonna take a while, because I know my mom is like a very stressful person, and I thought, I'm not killing my mom today with this. So yeah, I left my city at like 5:30 in the afternoon. It usually takes like an hour to get there, an hour like 20 minutes. I got home at 1 a.m. So clearly my mom realized at some point that was not traffic. And yeah, it was horrible. And to be honest, being inside the bus, seeing like the red lights, seeing like the red from the fire inside of the bus, feeling the warmth of the bus. We couldn't even like put our heads to the windows. The windows were like really hot. I was very calm throughout the whole day. I was very calm even when I got home. I was very like calmly calling my mom like, I'm home, it's fine, I'm good. And then at the same time, like the next day, it was very like weird. The like air was very weird. It almost looked like it looked yesterday, and we couldn't even leave the house the next day because it was like so bad that they said literally like we're not having schools open today because like it's not safe to be outside. And still, honestly, me and like a few of the people in the bus the next day we were very nauseous because it probably was from the like inhaling of all the smoke. Ever since then, I have like sort of like almost a phobia of fire. I get also very much. I already was a very anxious person by then. Like, ever since I got into college, mostly is when I realized I was like that I had anxiety mostly, which was because like literally the first year of college, I spent most of the time vomiting and crying the first year. It was very bad. And I even like ended up entering like therapy groups because of anxiety, which is not fun. But also, like, it did help a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it really did help a lot. They were, like, through school because I didn't have the money to honestly go to therapy because it is very expensive. I spent most of my, like, now I'm in my 6th year? 50th year? 6th year? 5th year of college, and it's better. I'm much better now, but I definitely got to a point where, especially after that incident, where I felt like my anxiety was even worse. Like, I was inside cars at night, we would have to be in traffic, the lights of the cars like braking, which is red, would literally bring me back to that moment, and I would have to like open a window, breathe air, and realize there's not a fire, calm down. Like, I got kind of really like a trauma from it, to the point I still feel it today. And so yesterday when I woke up and I realized that the weather was very much like giving post fire day, I got very anxious. I didn't film anything yesterday because I literally couldn't film anything today. When I get anxious, there's nothing I can focus on really. The only things that distract me is basically like just putting myself to the side, watching a movie, watching a show, like, but like I can't be actually doing something. If I'm filming, like, I don't react because I need to be completely in silence. A lot of times I'm literally just looking at the screen, I'm not watching anything. So like when I'm anxious, I can't do anything, and that's the reason why I haven't done a few videos. Also, when I was like doing the internship, I had like almost 2 hours a day in the beginning of the day, but then like I was so anxious that I had to go to the internship every day, and I was so anxious that I like knew that I was going to first of all be with people, which I'm also I have horrible social anxiety. And so me being in that internship where I had to be in an office with like 50, 60 people every day that I did not know. It was very much an anxious situation. I literally, like, every morning I would not eat anything. I would only eat for the first time at like 2 p.m. every day because I couldn't eat in the morning because I was so nauseous. Like, it was horrible. And then I just couldn't film. And I spent like months not filming much, as you guys know, and I hated that. And now that I'm at a better place, I can film a lot because I'm at home basically just writing my thesis. I have moments in which, like, for a week, I need to actually, like, physically focus on the thesis because it's, like, a week before I need to have the deadline to, like, send in a chapter. And that happened, like, these past few days. I have been posting pre-filmed stuff because I basically pre-filmed, like, a few, like, 3 to 4 videos, and I haven't posted as much as I wanted to because I had a deadline until yesterday. I sent it in. I did it. But I spent the like last 5 days basically just being nauseous all the time, not wanting to eat, completely isolating myself from everyone. But I'm also at the same time then a procrastinator, which is like the worst thing you can be. Like being anxious about deadlines and being a procrastinator, it's like these two things should not make sense. And I've never assumed that people that are both of these things could coexist at the same time. But that's me. I am a person that will vomit because I want to send stuff in quickly, but will leave everything until the last minute because he procrastinates. Do believe I'm a masochist. I've said this before as a humor in videos, but it is true. I do believe that I like feeling the hate and like the pain in myself. I don't know what it is, honestly. But yeah, I've gotten to this point, and I just, today is the first day after that. I just wanted to sit down to breathe. So I came here and I wanted to talk about that kind of just for a video so that you guys could also understand better. Like, if I'm not filming as much, it's probably because I'm just in a mood like this and I'm suffering from this. So just, be patient with me. I'm sorry. And I think maybe someone else will be able to relate. I feel like I've never just said this out loud, so I kind of just wanted to say it out loud. And I feel like if I were to have seen someone else go through this, I feel like it would have been easier. I've never seen anyone be like, hey, this is what I do and I hate it. And you know what? It's okay to hate it, but it's also okay to still let it happen because it is what it is and this is who you are. I'm trying to make it better, of course. I'm not saying that if you do this, which is very destructive, you should just let it happen and not do anything. Okay, I'm doing this like this because there's always cars coming and it's just like annoying. But yeah, I just wanted to basically say that. And basically, I'm not trying to say like, hey, if you're a procrastinator and an anxious person, just, it's okay to be like that. Like, I don't think necessarily it's okay to be like that, especially if it's like affecting you as it is affecting me. I think we should definitely try to better ourselves and to not be as much of a procrastinator. And of course, when it comes to the anxiety, there's times where I definitely also feel like need to go into like the cues that I got from the therapy sessions that I had, because honestly, like, there's times where like I feel chest pains from the anxiety that I'm having. I get points where I really like hyperventilate. Like, I literally, especially COVID, like I feel like COVID really was so much, it made it so much worse. Like, I feel like a lot of times people like me, I'm a loner. I'm someone that like loves to be alone. Like, I feel like COVID definitely came around, and like, I, as someone that had very social, it was very, like I said, ouch, sorry guys, like, sitting here, not good. But like, as someone that, like I said, I have like, a lot of like social anxiety. When it came to like staying at home and being more at home and like staying away from people, I see a lot of people like very much introverts and like social people that suffer from social anxiety, kind of feeling like, doing that helped them in that sense. Like, it was very good in that sense. And I feel like a lot of people are online basically, were online basically at the time, being kind of like, y'all are suffering because you can't go out with your friends. Like, that's my life. Like, I'm so good. And that was me. My friends were kind of like, I can't handle this anymore, I'm hating it. And I was very much like, I'm doing okay. Like, it's bad. I hate the fact that we're having to do this. I hate the fact that, like, people are getting sick and that, like, it's very much dangerous. And like, I hated that, especially because I have like respiratory issues. So like, I was always like very much anxious for myself and for my mom, because we both have those. But at the same time, I was literally like, I don't need excuses because why I'm not going out with my friends. I don't need to be like giving excuses as to why I'm always home. Like, it felt great to not have to excuse my normal, just like, this is who I am behavior with something else, so that people would accept it more lightly, because a lot of people just don't they have a hard time accepting that someone likes to stay at home. And so COVID in that sense helped a lot, but it also like made it so much worse now that we have to, go back into society a lot of times. Like, we went to an event I went to an event with my parents, and like, there were so many people there because, like, the restrictions are down, and a lot of people were still wearing masks, but a lot of them weren't. And I was like, what is happening? And literally, I went into that like event space. It was like closed, and I went in there and I spent maybe 10 minutes there, and I ran outside because I could not breathe. I was definitely starting to have a panic attack. I was like, we're not doing this. I like literally just thinking about it is making me nervous. But honestly, like, really, I was like closing down. I could not breathe. I was feeling so much like everyone was just around me, and no one was really around me. Like, I didn't feel like closed off, but it literally felt like I was in a very cramped space. I felt like there were people like close to me, and they weren't, but I felt like I just couldn't move as much as I wanted to. It just, for that sense, it really made it worse, which is not good. And so that's what I'm like wanting to say, is like, I get that these are all things we need to work on, because life is what it is, and we need to definitely better ourselves in that sense, and it's also good for us and for our health. But I just, I feel like I also feel the need to say that, like, if you are like me and if you feel this way too, it's totally fine to feel that way. You're not alone in that sense. When the therapy group happened, hearing just all those people answer the like questions that we were being asked the same way, it was so like, oh, there's 20 people here, and all these 20 people feel the same way I do. Crazy. because I didn't feel that way at all, because all of my friends are like very much extroverts, love going out, which is also why I've lost most of my friends, by the way. Yeah, sad reality for a minute, but most of my friends that were extroverts, like, I for many years felt the need to basically say, you know what, they're right, I should change, I should not be someone that just stays home all the time, and I tried to get out of my comfort zone, but it got to a point where it was very much like, I'm always the one that gets out of his comfort zone. I always am the one that goes out. And when I don't go out like once or twice because I'm really having a moment, I get called out for not being a great friend because I'm not going out. I don't think that this is okay. And when I started not going out because I just didn't feel like going out and because I also had the right to not want to go out, I was called out for it. So, like, it was super easy for me in a friendship to be the ears. And I was the ears in many friendships, which basically what I mean by that is I was in life, I feel like the ears, honestly. And basically what I mean by that is I was always the friend and the person in the family that like listens. You know, I listen a lot. I listen much better than I talk in situations because I'm also socially awkward, like I said, and anxious. So like I am not the person that will be in a social gathering and like talk a lot. I will be the person that sits there and listens. And I listen and listen and listen until the moment I feel like I am okay and I want to talk. And in life, usually when I got to that point and I wanted to talk, the people that I wanted to talk to got pretty much so used to just me being there to listen that they didn't want to listen to me. They wanted me to listen to more of their story and their situations. And I feel like I got into a moment and real in time in my friendships where I realized most of my friends have basically gotten to a point where they think that I am just the ears for their friendship and I'm not the one with problems because I never spoke of them, or because they're mostly the same and they were just tired of hearing me basically be someone that is closeted and tired of being closeted, someone that had issues with ex-boyfriends because we were closeted and we couldn't come out. And like, you know, I get that I always had straight friends and I still only have straight friends basically, and that they mostly don't get me. I get that, you know, but it was very hard for me to realize, oh, maybe I'm not in a friendship that is like the best, and maybe I should try and take myself out of this friendship, and deal with the stuff that I have to deal with and find friends that fit me. Because a lot of times I feel like we're scared of being like, hey, I can't be friends with you because we don't fit, or because like I had friends, like those were friends that I had for like 14 years. So I feel like we got to a point where I was like, I can't leave them, you know, like we've been friends forever. Like we were known in the town that I'm at right now as like being that group of friends. Like everyone knew that as that group of friends. And now I look back at it and I'm like, we were definitely not good for each other. Like I don't blame them only, I blame myself too. We were definitely just not good for each other, but we continued being friends because it got to a point where it was almost forced upon us to be friends. And so, you know, I just feel like people try their best to make friendships happen, people try their best to make relationships happen, and they sacrifice themselves a lot for friendships and relationships. And I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I don't want to sacrifice myself in the sense of like changing myself or friends to change themselves for me. I want to make the sacrifice of accepting them as they are, and it shouldn't even be a sacrifice. Like, if I accept you the way you are, then that's good. The friends that I have right now, I just accept them completely. And that's why we don't have issues. Like, I know how they are, and it's not toxic, and I'm good, you know? And I feel like I've gotten to a point where it's like, yeah, I only have like 2 to 3 friends, but like, I'm good. And I'm sorry if I'm shaking too much, but like, see, this is literally me holding with one arm. I'm not even kidding. I know it might sound like I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. This is just how much of an anxious person I am right now. I'm so scared of being here and like getting caught or like talking about this that I'm like shaking. Like, I'm not even kidding. This is not me trying to make it more shaky. This is me actually shaking. So yeah, just, you know, I just wanted you guys to know more about like, I guess, kind of where I come from. But yeah, I guess that's basically it. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm also just gonna go up now again that way and go home, and I'm gonna go ahead and film some stuff. So you will see those videos hopefully soon. So yeah, I guess that's basically it. Sorry if this video was not interesting at all, and sorry if this is not at all something you wanted to like get, but I just felt the need to kind of talk about this. So yeah, thank you for listening if you got to the end. So I guess I'll see you Gemini's soon. Bye.